Thing with your vanes, you want to do the same thing. On your vanes, what you want to look for is any cracks. A lot of times you'll see these will get kind of chewed up and in pretty bad shape, and or if they're cracked or whatever. So when you clean them, thoroughly inspect them, make sure they're not cracked, because the last thing you want to do is throw a cracked or a broke or a bent vane back in here and then reassemble your turbo. Go through all the work and effort of putting them in and it not work right. So in this case though, we're not using them, we're going to use new ones. So these are going to go in the trash. So then we get to this part of the turbo housing. What we want to do before we assemble is get this nice and clean. Again, we don't want to take a wire wheel in here. I just recommend getting some really good heavy degreaser or that chem dip stuff and just really clean in here. You can normally clean this housing up pretty well. If you have a hot tank, you can set this in a hot tank and clean it, or a parts washer and do the same thing, let them soak. We want to get this inside as clean as possible. Okay, so this next part can be kind of tricky sometimes depending on how hard this is seized on there. They shouldn't be underneath a ton of pressure, or like you don't necessarily have to rattle these down when you put them together. You want to make sure they're tight, and there's the torque spec. But most of the time, just spin them on and let the turbo do the work, and it'll suck them together. So sometimes you're going to need some channel locks. Sometimes you can get a wrench on them. Different styles will have, depending on who made the turbo or if it's a Power Max or whatever. Sometimes these turbine